What's up, everybody? I'm still stealing Stephen Wonderboy Thomason's intro because I still don't have my own one. However, I have a different background now. So, hey, things are changing, things are improving. I hope it's an improvement. Yes, that's all self-made. I hope we have more improvements coming soon also for the audio listeners, new microphones and so on. Coming soon. So having that said, welcome to MMA Monday here on the Funkit Pod, and it's been an exciting week in MMA. As always, lots of things going on this time. More than ever? No, but, well, quite a lot going on. And let's start with the recaps. As always, we recap what happened this past weekend or this past week in the world of MMA. And of course, let's start with the UFC, biggest promotion out there. UFC Fight Night, UFC Vegas 26. And the most important news right off the get-go in regards to what happened at UFC Vegas 26. Amanda Ribas. Did I pronounce it correctly, Amanda? Please let me know. My DMs are open. Amanda Ribas, positive for COVID-19, removed from UFC Vegas 26 before the bout started with Angela Hill. So Angela Hill then also off the card, of course. Angela Hill tweeted she's open to fight within 2 weeks, looking for an opponent. Wishes Amanda Ribas all the best. Amanda, I hope you're okay. Let me know if you need anything. Happy to help. Figebom logo. I hope I said it somewhat correctly. Figebom logo. Get well soon, Amanda Ribas. All right, let's start with the breakdown of UFC 26, of UFC Vegas 26. Main event, Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson. And, well, of course, I kind of thought Michelle Waterson would be the favorite here. But then when you look at those two standing across the octagon from each other, next to each other, Marina Rodriguez seemed to be way taller, so reach advantage, I would assume. And she outpointed Michelle Waterson clearly in this fight. Unfortunately, at Karate Hottie, Mom Champ, hashtag Mom Champ. It's still possible, but another small setback here for Michelle. It was a good fight, back and forth. Eventually, like first Marina Rodriguez, dominated the fight more or less. Round 4, then Michelle scored her first takedown, I think it was in round 4. Slowly mounted a comeback. Then round 5, she knew she needs a finish and almost actually had Rodriguez shook there, but Rodriguez stayed in there and then took it home on the scorecard. So nothing to complain about. I agree with the scores. Score were 48, 47, 49, 46, 49, 46. So that's like one scorecard gives 2 rounds to Michelle Waterson. The other 2 gave 1 round to Waterson and the others to Rodriguez. I'm on board with this kind of. So well done, Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez then said she'd be up for a title shot. Now, who wouldn't be up for a title shot? But she would also be up for fighting Joanna if she wants to fight, that is. So, yeah, looking forward to what Marina Rodriguez brings next. I looked at her record. Her record is like 4-1-2 or something like this. So not that impressive yet. Kind of interesting, like how fast you are in the talks for a title shot, but great performance. So I'm not against it. I'm just saying, kind of interesting how fast that goes. Heartbreak moment of the weekend, of course. Alex Morono defeating Cowboy Cerrone versus via TKO in round 1. Oh, Cowboy. No, I actually don't want to even look at my notes right now because Cowboy. Yeah, he also said later on that he's heartbroken and he felt okay, but just couldn't put it all together. And he said, like, the way I feel and the way I perform seem to be different. So is it time to hang up the gloves? But he also said he doesn't want to go out like this. I couldn't let my legacy end like this. That's what he said. So I hope he gets like at least one more at 155 because it was at 170. Actually, he didn't want to take it and he just accepted 170 because they wanted him to fight Diego Sanchez. But then Diego got removed from the UFC. So that's when Alex Morono stepped in, of course. So, Cowboy said he doesn't want to end like this. And I'm all for that. Like, give him at least one more at 155, see what happens then. And then we can talk again. So, yeah, looking forward to Cowboy's 155 fight. Hope he gets that one after recovery period now, of course, and maybe he can go back into the the win column. That would be nice. Win column. Neil Magny is still in the win, again in the win column. He defeated Jeff Neal via UD. It was actually like kind of scrappy, I think. I would say. The scorecard said 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. So he just outfought. We kind of have to say it like this. Outfought Jeff Neal. Hands of steel. Jeff Neal was of course disappointed afterwards. Didn't complain about it. It was a close fight, but he said he didn't feel like himself lately. He had a sickness and so on. So he plans to take some time away to deal with serious health issues, and then reassess, and then hopefully come back full power. Neil Magny asked about like what's next. They said if he would want to fight Khamzat Chimaev next. Magny said if Khamzat wants the smoke, he can get it. Chimaev also on Twitter added Magny like, don't run like chicken. It's a thing apparently in over there. So yeah, probably Neil Magny versus Khamzat Chimaev next. Not mad at it. Let's see what Chimaev can do. Also, very cool fight, very interesting, very close fight. Gregor Gillespie versus Diego Ferreira. That was interesting because the pace was really high. Like Gillespie, they asked him like why he was breathing so heavily, and he's like, I was tired. The pace was high. Didn't you see the fight? With lots of wrestling exchanges and at the end, and so eventually Gillespie pulled it off. And then won via TKO in around 2 at 4:51, very, very close to the end. That was cool, respect Gillespie, and they asked him like why he started so fast paced, and he said sometimes you have to throw yourself on the fire to create like more chaos for your opponent and hope to drown them. I just mixed some metaphors there, I think, but you know what I'm saying. So that's basically what Gillespie said there. So good fight for Gillespie, back in the win column after his loss 2 years ago or so, 1.5, 2 years ago against like Kevin Lee. How does Kevin Lee fit into all of this? Where's his bag? Where's Kevin Lee? So congrats Gregor Gillespie. He's got a German flag in his Instagram bio, so you're probably somewhat German. So well done, Gregor Gillespie. Afterwards, he said like towards the camera, he's like, I told you, best whatever, and then best fisherman, best hiker, and then the best fisherman comment, best fisherman in UFC comment, and McGregor went at it on Twitter. This guy is not the best fisherman. I'm the best fisherman, and I know who else was talking about like 3 or 4 responses from UFC fighters saying that they are the best. Bryce Mitchell. Cameo shots. He said he's a better fisherman, but if you look at the pictures that they all have from fishing, definitely Gillespie is the best fisherman in the UFC. All right, what else did we have? We also had Bellator this past Friday, and we saw a new champion being crowned with Sergio Pettis pulling it off against Juan Archuleta. Good job, Pettis. I think I picked Archuleta in my preview, so how dare you, Sergio, for effing up my picks? But good job, well done, smart fight. Nothing to complain about, right? I mean, if you've seen it, you know, like, well executed everything, deserved champion Sergio Pettis. Let's see what's up next, but yeah, that was good. Nothing to complain about. Quite entertaining, fun to watch. I liked it. Let me know what you think about this. I liked it. What I didn't like, just like Anthony Johnson himself, the comeback of Rumble Johnson. Also, the picture that Bellator has of Rumble Johnson on the websites is terrible. He looks like he's 78 years old. Like in actuality, like in the cage and in the press conference, he looks much younger, much fresher. He fought against Jose Augusto, and he knocked him out. But that was not convincing, Anthony Johnson, and he knows that by himself. He called it one of the most embarrassing moments or like performances in his career in the press conference afterwards. Augusto had him rattled, sat him down. Luckily for Johnson, Augusto broke his hand on Johnson's head apparently. So well done, Rumble. And then Rumble just rumbled back and landed the right punch on Augusto to take him out. But man, that was a bit rough to watch. But ring rust, blah blah blah, whatnot. I don't know if ring rust is real. Rumble Johnson said ring rust isn't really. It was just an embarrassing performance. I don't know. It wasn't a great performance, but Rumble knows that he'll be back better. after a long layoff, maybe there's some jitters. Maybe ring rust is a thing. Who knows? So congrats on Rumble Johnson, to Rumble Johnson for moving on the light heavyweight Grand Prix. Let's see what happens next. Next round should be step up in competition, I believe. I don't remember who is fighting next, but yeah, he needs to step up then, of course. Scott Coker, by the way, said Anthony Johnson has nothing to be disappointed about. He said, you won. You just came back. It's all good. So the boss is all happy with what he saw. Who's not happy is right now the Pitbull brothers, because Patricky Pitbull versus Peter Queally ended in Peter Queally TKOing Patricky Pitbull. So maybe the Pitbull brothers stop bragging for a week or so right now. Good job, Peter Queally. Feels like Peter Queally has been around forever as well, right? I'm not sure how old he actually is. I'm just looking at my notes, but I don't see it. It just feels like he's been around forever. At least I've seen his name on like fight cards many times. So good job for sticking it to Patricky Pitbull. Congratulations, Peter Queally. And then, of course, we have to talk about the KO, the TKO of the night. Michael Page Venom, how Stephen Wonderboy Thompson calls him, versus Derek Anderson with this lead leg snap kick KO right to the face on TKO, then broken nose and then doctor stoppage in between rounds. So another highlight reel victory for Michael Venom Page. First, when I saw the highlight, I was like, why is Anderson like just leaning into the kick? But then when you see the extended footage of the fight, you can see that Anderson tries to just move with the flow, and Page just timed the flow. Like when Anderson moves his head, and then he just moves to the other side, and then he landed the kick right to the head. So that was good timing by Page. I'm not the biggest Page fan because his style is just so arrogant. Not weird. I like weird styles, but his style is so arrogant. But yeah, congratulations. He's number 2 in the rankings, the Bellator rankings, I believe, now in his weight class. So titles are probably next. And I think Lima's facing, forgive me for not knowing the name, some guy from Russia, I believe, was number 1, like behind Lima in the rankings right now. And after that, Page should get another title shot. So let's see where and how this goes. First, for now, congratulations, MVP. That was a nice knockout. Can't complain about that. Later on in the press conference, by the way, he was kind of like, yeah, well, everyone's always criticizing me. I'm accepting it. I'm not mad about it. But I'm next for a title shot. I'm still chasing Lima. I want this fight back. I want this win back. So he says all the right things. So let's see how this rematch that probably is going to happen sooner than later against Douglas Lima will look like. You know who I'm rooting for, though. What else do we have? Oh, we also have PFL. PFL also happened this past week, and we saw, well, first of all, Kayla Harrison running through her opponent, of course, and she's like, these hands are for everybody. This was not a fight. This was a coronation or something like this. I'm unbeatable and things like this. Well, in the PFL, maybe. Just saying. But then we saw Renan Ferreira knocking out Fabricio Verdum. No, Fabricio. But first he seemed to have tapped. So they went to the ground and Verdum had him in a choke. And you can see Ferreira tapping twice on Verdum's back. And why would you go like this if you're not tapping, right? And, well, eventually he broke free from the choke and then eventually ground and pounded Verdum out. It wasn't really related, right? So it's not like he tapped and Verdum let go. It was just, you see the tap, Verdum still didn't let go, but then they scrambled and so on, came out, and then later then he ground and pounded him. But yeah, so should he have lost already? Should the referee have seen it? He should have seen it. What's happening now? Will they overturn it? No contest? That's weird, right? That's weird. Sad for Fabricio Verdum, of course. First fight for PFL and then this. It's like other promotions, usually like in the way back then, right? They would try to use the talent that comes from other promotions and like, hey, look, he's fighting here now and let's just push him. But now it's like, hey, you fight our monsters and we take out the former UFC guy, we take out the former whatever guy, just to show that we've got the right talent too. Speaking of right talent and other promotions that set up ex-UFC fighters to fail, hey, ONE Championship. Gordon Ryan was on the Joe Rogan podcast this past week at some point, and he said he's not sure when he's actually gonna make the transition into MMA. He started training like a bit ago, but then John Danaher had a talk with him and said, like, man, right now you can dominate jiu-jitsu. You still have time to go into MMA. Let's focus on jiu-jitsu for a few more years, win all the tournaments, establish yourself as the best in the world to have ever done it, and then we can move into MMA. So let's see. He also said that John Danaher trains everything. Like he trains jiu-jitsu, of course, but also he trains wrestling and striking with Gary Tonin, for example, or in the training camp. So John Danaher does just everything. This guy, freak. And apparently those rash guards are also great for striking. I want one of those, John. So let's see if Gordon Ryan ever makes the transition to MMA. I saw a few comments saying that he's gonna make a transition once he cycles off. Allegedly, that is, allegedly. Interesting podcast though by Joe Rogan and Gordon Ryan. So go give it a listen. That was pretty interesting to just hear his mindset and like what motivates them and how they moved to, I think, Puerto Rico right now. So interesting stuff. Just listen to it. Also some trash talk in there, which is always appreciated, so that's cool. What else did we see in the news? Kamaru Usman said he wants to fight again very quickly. He's looking to fight either the winner of Edwards or Diaz. I'm thinking he hopes for Diaz. Or he might even want to consider Michael Chiesa, because he's the one guy that's not booked in the top 5 or 6 that has the longest winning streak besides Wonderboy. Wonderboy is booked against Burns, so Chiesa would be next. So let's see if this comes together. I'm not sure if the UFC is into that. I'm sure UFC would rather have Edwards or Diaz versus Usman. That's because the numbers, right? Because of sales. Then of course boxing also happened, and the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather press conference kicked off, right? Oh my God, seriously. And now I have to talk about Logan Paul. I didn't want to talk about Jake Paul, now it's Logan Paul. I don't even know, man. And Logan Paul was like this, the scuffle, whatever you want to call it. And then Jake Paul is in there too, of course, and he steals Mayweather's head. And then Mayweather jumps after him and tries to hit him or whatever. Oh, so annoying. Conor McGregor weighed in, of course, slams Mayweather for lowering him onto the Paul brothers level and so on, of course. Like, what? This is just embarrassing. Fighting Logan Paul, a guy who had one fight and that he lost. Like, oh God. Oh, and the press conference was so cringy. It was even worse. I thought Logan Paul is the Paul brother that is good on the mic. But clearly not. How can you have 10 million followers on YouTube and you're so bad at talking? It's ridiculous. It is crazy. I don't understand. Mayweather looked also terrible though. Like Mayweather was like, oh. Yeah, let's move on. That was terrible. What also was terrible, I almost forgot. Training footage coming out from Diego Sanchez and Joshua Fabia. Diego Sanchez hanging like with his feet like on like a bar or whatever. Like, so he's hanging upside down like a vampire, like arms crossed, eyes closed, and then his arms in front of his eyes like covering, and Joshua Faber just kicking him and punching him. What? It's like a terrible, terrible karate movie montage or something. Like Rocky style. Like, oh God, everybody's hating on it. John Jones is like, I'm really disgusted by that footage. Like, everybody's just saying, man, Diego is in trouble. He like, this Joshua Faber guy is not good news, of course, but oh Lord, this footage video is like, it looks like it's from SNL. It's ridiculous. Like, Diego, wake up, man. Seriously, that is sad to see. What's also sad to see, is boxing. Mega boxing fight happened also this past weekend. You probably heard of it. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders was undefeated up until now. Everybody knew that would change this weekend, of course. They fought in Texas somewhere with 70,000 fans. No mask, no mandatory mask. I don't know, whatever rules in there. Let's see how much they spread it. They spread COVID afterwards. But the fight, of course, Canelo does what Canelo does, just raining shots on Billy Joe Saunders and the doctor and stopped it between rounds, which means Canelo now has 3 out of 4 world titles in his weight class. He says, number 4, you're next. Yes, it was a Goldberg reference. Congratulations, Canelo. How was that Mexican meat? All right, let's go into the preview mode, though. No hate on boxing. It's just, come on. Let's go into the previews for next weekend. And this is going to be a pretty cool fight card. I hope nothing gets canceled because it looks amazing so far. UFC 262 sees or aims to crown a new lightweight champion. And in the main event, we have Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira, or as friends of Charles Sonnen call him, Charlie Olives. Charlie Olives versus the man with the most boring nickname ever, Iron Mike Chandler. Why would you call yourself Iron Mike if there's Iron Mike Tyson, man? Seriously, that's just lame. The fight should be interesting. Only chance I see for Chandler is if he just pulls a Chandler. We've seen him doing this many times, and that's why I didn't understand why Hooker got so surprised when Chandler did it. He goes for the takedown, or he threatens the takedown, then he throws a crazy, powerful overhand right. And that's the Chandler. That's the Chandler move, right? If Charlie Olives avoids that, stays away for a bit, maybe make him chase him for a little bit or something like this, then I think Charlie Olives has all the tools to beat Chandler. Like, ground game is there, striking definitely is there. But now that I say that, because every time I pick against Chandler, Chandler wins. So, and when I pick Chandler, Chandler loses. Like in this last, or not last, but in this fight against Pitbull back then. So, yeah, I think Charlie, especially after seeing the UFC embedded Charles Oliveira playing catch with a llama, amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Charles Oliveira takes this. I think Charles Oliveira takes this. Also not surprised if Chandler takes it with some crazy, like an overhand right power shot, drops him or something like this. But it should be a fun fight, I guess. I guess it's Oliveira by TKO. Co-main event is the guy that Oliveira TKO'd last time, Tony Ferguson. Subbed last time, not TKO'd, submitted last time. Tony Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush. Not a newcomer anymore, but like slowly coming into his own with like some highlight reel knockouts, like late minute or comeback knockouts over the past. It should be fun. It should like seriously fun. Like they both. Like Dariush, like this crazy pace in your face, never backing up. He got backed up against Strucker closer, if you remember this one, and then this against the fence, this crazy right hand that then hurt close, and then he finished closer, and it's the famous Joe Rogan, like this with like his co-commentators. Ferguson. I mean, that's now make or break, right? 3 in a row, and then it's a real skid. So Ferguson needs this right now. Let's hope he trained more jiu-jitsu than last time. He said, I only trained 5 days jiu-jitsu. He always has excuses. So I hope this time there's no excuse. There's nothing. I hope it's the Tony Ferguson of old. And we see a crazy, flowy Tony Ferguson just throwing all the wild stuff. Elbows, knees, hitting like some Iminari rolls, whatever. So Tony, I hope it's the old Tony. Then it should be a really cool fight. I don't know, it's hard. Either Tony takes this or it's over for Tony, I'm thinking, right? So I would say, but Dariush is really, he's powerful and it's hard to get him out there. But still, I think it's Ferguson by some weird, Ferguson by Darce joke. Why not? Haven't seen it in a while. Ferguson by Darce joke. Another fight that we see is Jack Hermansson versus Edmund Shabazian, both coming off of losses. Yeah, Jack Hermanson was like on a roll until he wasn't anymore, right? Same for Shabazian, of course, like on the road to be like a super young prospect. Then we realized he has a similar head movement than Ronda Rousey. Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't impressed by Shabazian so far, obviously, because in his wins he won very fast, so we didn't see much. But then the loss was like a bad loss. Jack Hermanson got caught in the loss. Yeah, I think Hermanson comes back and takes the win here. Decision. We see Shane Burgos, brawler, versus Edson Barboza. When I started watching UFC or MMA, Edson Barboza was on a tear, and everyone was like, wow, God, oh my God, Edson Barboza. Joe Rogan still fastest switch kick in MMA. I hope we see it again. I hope we see Edson Barboza's switch kicks again. And that fight with Khabib really broke him. It was terrible. I hope we see the Barboza of old. But Shane Burgos just moves forward, swings wild, takes all the shots, and then grinds you out, right? So, but I mean, obviously, as a Muay Thai practitioner myself, I'm rooting for Mr. Switch Kick Edson Barboza. Would be nice to see him win again. Barboza, decision. We also see Shakar Sousa. Shakare. What? Shakare still in there. Shakare fighting on the prelims against Andre Muniz. Sorry, Andre. Don't know much about Andre Muniz, to be honest. So I have to go with Shakare, right? Shakare. Come on, Shakare. And Groovy Lando also on the prelims. Groovy Lando Vanata versus Mike Grundy. I'm surprised that Groovy Lando doesn't have a number next to his name. But I mean, it's Groovy Lando Vanata, right? So expecting like, I don't know, spinning back kick knockout or something by Lando Vanata, of course. We also have ONE Championship happening next week, and I know that you're waiting for the breakdown of this. Sorry. Now let's talk about it. ONE Championship Dangal, so not on TNT anymore right now. And we see, I'm only talking about like the three main events. The main event of the evening is Brandon the Truth Wearer, the Rock Light, versus Archambulla Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, to be honest, they always build the Brandon Vera's contenders up like as like the next big thing in heavyweight, and then he just hits them once and then they go down. So no offense towards Archambulla, who probably can crush me with one hand, being a heavyweight, but I don't believe the hype anymore that ONE puts behind like the up and coming heavyweight. So I'm guessing Brandon Vera by walking back, hitting one shot, knockout, round one. Co-main event is Tavanchai PK Sanchai Muay Thai Gym. So it's a Muay Thai fighter out of the gym of famous Muay Thai legend, GOAT Sanchai. He's fighting Sean Clancy, and I don't know much about Sean Clancy, I'm sorry. And I've seen Tavanchai before, of course, so I'm saying Tavanchai, second round TKO. And then the third fight that I want to talk about is Killer B Nguyen versus Ritu Phogat from India. B Nguyen repping the US and Vietnam. On the ONE Championship breakdown on the website, they call B Nguyen a veteran striker. Does it mean she's old? She's not. Ritu Phogat, heavy wrestler from India. B Nguyen, veteran striker. Should be interesting. I like B Nguyen's style because she's aggressive, like doesn't back down. I like it. Ritu Phogat, her last fight, if I remember correctly, was also like lots of pressure. Also, it was a fast finish, I believe. She took her down and like ground and pounded her out, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be interesting. I'm a bit biased. I follow B Nguyen on IG, and she's posting funny stuff once in a while. I just started following Ritu Phogat too, of course, to do some research here on her training and so on. I want to take B Nguyen, of course. Maybe I'm taking B Nguyen. Decision. Okay, so that's the predictions for ONE Championship Dangal. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, to be honest. Happening on Friday. That's it for now. There's no Bellator happening this week. The Bellator is happening the week after, with the return of Chris Cyborg. So we will talk about this next week then. That's it for now. Lots of stuff to unpack right from the past weekend. The upcoming one, UFC 262, is going to be super interesting. Let me know your thoughts, your predictions, your picks, either via social media comments or email funkitpod@gmail.com. Until then, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you next time.